My business is called Your Happiness. What I do is help parents get better sleep.
It's a hard choice to make to go, hey, I'm going to go off by myself. But sometimes when you lose the job or something happens in the business, it's the kick up the arse that you needed.
I feel so free. And I look at people I used to work with. They're not happy. They're miserable. It sucks. It's still the same. Nothing's changed. No, and it's not going to. You have to make the change. If you're not happy, it's your responsibility to change that.
Knowing what you know and going through this journey and helping people, is there a common hack that we might not be aware of?
Yeah, the nighttime routine's massive. But what it really comes down to is
Time to get fired up. Yeah, I'm getting fired up.
Your thoughts can become plans, plans can become actions, and actions become a reality. We share powerful stories and simple steps to fast track your business and personal growth. Are you ready to make it happen? Let's get fired up. Welcome back to the podcast. Pleasure today to have with me Natalie Saul. And the reason we've asked her to come on is because she is started and has a paying client business within only 90 days. We have done some coaching together over that time, but I wanted to invite her on to share her story on just how she got to this point and how she went through the steps of getting to a paying operating business in only a 3-month period. So Nat, welcome to the podcast.
oh, thank you.
Great to have you here with us. Let's start just getting a bit of an understanding about the business. So what is the business and what do you do?
So my business is called Your Happiness, and what I do is help parents get better sleep. So obviously when your children are young, they wake up a lot through the night, they don't have day naps properly, they do extra feeds that they shouldn't maybe be doing through the night, which means extra wake ups for them. So parents, we're trying to function through life, and when we're not getting sleep through the night, it can be absolute chaos. So that's what my job is, to help kids sleep better and therefore parents sleep better.
Is it a combination of training the parent and the child?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. When it comes to the parents, we form these really bad habits over time. And it's like we dig ourselves these graves and we don't even realize. And then next minute you look back and you're like, hang on a minute, they've been waking up through the night. It was because they were sick or teething, and I sort of haven't gotten out of that habit. And now I'm doing like 3 feeds through the night, and I've been doing that for like 6 weeks. I'm exhausted. How do I get out of that? And it's really hard to break those habits.
You know, my kids are not babies anymore, but I remember going through this pain of lack of sleep and waking up through the night and everything. I didn't even know that this type of business existed or that you could get help and consulting. So we'll dig into that a bit later, but let's just kind of go back a bit because the business is, we've worked closely on this from 90 days from nothing to what it is now. But how did you even get to this point? Like, let's just go back to like when you were in a full-time job and what happened there for you to actually start this thing off.
Yeah, sure. So how I got into sleep consultancy was basically, I don't even know how long ago it was now, 3 years ago. I lost my job. I was a midwife working at the hospital, and I was told that if I don't get a certain jab, I do not have a job. And I held out thinking, this is ridiculous. They can't do that. I mean, I did this for 15 years. I'd literally worked for the same hospital for 15 years. And got an email saying, that's it, you're out. And I went, shit, what do I do? I sat on it for a bit. And I mean, I had a bit of money given to me because I had all the leave and stuff. So I was like, but I still had a mortgage to pay. I still had kids to feed. So I kind of went, wow, what now? And it was kind of hard too, because I mean, I was a good worker. I was really dedicated to my job. I put in my all. And then it's like I was made to feel like a bit of a criminal. So it sort of knocked my confidence a lot.
Yeah.
Next minute, I ended up being offered some work cleaning. And I was like, well, I can clean my house. How hard can it be? Next minute, that just boomed. And I'm working now 5 days a week on my own. It was my own business. I was miserable, but it was paying my bills, right? So I was like, great, I'm paying my bills. But man, cleaners deserve a lot more credit than what they get. Hey, like they work hard. My body was sore. Like I was literally waking up in the middle of the night with numb arms, just going, I can't feel them. So from there I went, my partner just said that you've got to stop this. So I'd actually started doing some training for sleep consultancy. I had my own kids. I knew how hard it was. And I knew the relief that I got from a good night's sleep, like waking up just going, oh my God, they slept all night and I feel amazing. And that feeling is what I want to give to other people, like that relief, that sleep. Everyone needs sleep. Like, we need it. So that's what I wanted to sort of pass on to other people. Like, so I finished my study in that whilst I was doing my full-time cleaning job, being a parent too. That was a bit of a juggle. And yeah, that's basically sort of how I got into the field of sleep consultancy. It's sort of based around midwifery. I saw all the people, struggling coming back the second time, going, oh, my first one didn't sleep. How am I going to adjust this?
So were you doing the sleep consultancy, like were you contracting? This was a job that you were contracting for before you started your own thing?
No, no,
Started
it's
straight from
straight
there.
from scratch. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
just me.
So, and I think like, about the job and everything else, like, a lot of people listening to this and myself and other guests we have on here, like the job is the peace of mind because it pays the bills and there's the
Mm,
regular pay cycle and everything else. And people put a lot of heart and soul into that work and effort. And I think it's a hard choice to make to go, hey, I'm going to go off by myself.
mm-hmm.
But sometimes when you lose the job or something happens in the business, it's the kick up the arse that you needed to kind of
Absolutely.
reconsider what you're doing and how you're doing it.
And I can guarantee, like, the amount of times I'd sit there doing a night shift is going, far out, I'm so tired. This is horrible. Like, I'm literally like trying to keep my eyes open whilst caring for people. I hated it. Like, driving into work on a night duty was just miserable. And then trying to sleep the next day, I was constantly going, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? Guaranteed I'd still be there right now. I'd probably retire doing that job, being miserable my whole life. And now that I've come out of that, going, wow, like I feel so free. And I look at people that still work there that I used to work with, and they're not happy. They're miserable. They tell me, they're like, it sucks. It's still the same. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
And that's, it's just, no, and it's not going to. You have to make the change. If you're not happy, it's your responsibility to change that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful that I stuck to my guns and I made that decision to say, I'm not going there. Like,
Yeah.
kick me out. That's fine. I'll find my own way through life.
So talk us through the process. So I'm a parent. I've got a problem child and who's had problem sleeping, which is obviously, to your point as well. I've been there. Sleep deprivation is probably the worst thing that can happen in terms of like going to work, running a business, just functioning normally. It causes a hell of a lot of pain.
Right? Even entertaining your child, even if you
Yeah.
don't work, like even for stay-at-home mums, try entertaining a 2-year-old when you haven't slept all night, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And
that's
their
hard.
attitude as well, like that kid's had no sleep is because they're like grumpy as hell, or that kid needs to go to sleep because of how grumpy and upset they are.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm a distraught parent. My kid's not sleeping. I've tried stuff. I come across you. I reach out for help. Talk me through the process of how you kind of approach that with me and also with this child.
Yeah, fantastic. So I do a couple of packages. One, if you've never done anything and you're just starting from scratch, it's pretty basic and straightforward. And I'll just give you like really good sort of plans and stuff to follow. But most of my clients, they have issues. They're coming in, they're going, I'm not sleeping, help me. So with that package, basically we start out with a online consult and we go through everything. I get everyone to fill out a form to start with so I can see from scratch, how did your pregnancy go? Because that all counts as well. How was the birth? How were they as a baby? And then what problems are we dealing with now? Their diet, all that sort of stuff. So I've got quite a bit of information, which I've gone through. So I sort of have an idea now, okay, the sleep issues are here, here, and here. So by the time we have our meeting, I sort of go over it again. What are you doing at night? What are you doing during the day? And then we come up with solutions from there. And then they get like a proper tailored sleep plan from that. And then we follow up weekly for a month. And every day it's text messages as they need. Because, sometimes they'll have a great night and they'll be like, yay, I get those messages. They slept all night. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yay.
It's a once off.
I know. I feel that too. I'm like,
Yeah.
yay, celebration. But then, yeah, the next night, then something might happen. So we go, okay, well, why did that happen? So it's that constant follow through, which really helps. So by the end of the month, they've pretty much got it sorted. They know what to do if they, have a bad night, etc. So
Is it that comprehensive? Like, I mean, you mentioned diet, like, because I was just thinking, like, change the routine, try some settling and soothing things. But does it get into that detail about what they're eating, what time, what they're doing before?
yeah,
Go,
absolutely. Like, and you'd think like, oh, an overtired child, they have to sleep. But overtired tired child, it's so hard to say that, um, they can become an absolute disaster. So how do
Right.
we undo this child that's like literally walking around like a zombie? How do we sort of get them that sleep that they need so that we can move forward with it? Diet's massive. And I mean, these days, everything's so processed and full of sugar. And some
Mm.
mums think that they're giving their kids really good food, but it's actually full of sugar as well. So, yeah, I definitely give a lot of dietary advice when it comes to sleep advice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How common is like the chicken nuggets and chips? It seems like
the white food.
every other kid just
Yeah,
is like, that's it.
yeah,
Nothing else. I won't eat anything else. That's
yeah.
all that I'll have on the menu. It's like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. It's literally like white food, potatoes, yogurt, cheese, crackers. It's like if it's white, I'll eat it. If it's green, no thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there and I want to talk like to a specific situation that you've had with a client, but before that, like knowing what you know and going through this journey and helping people, like is there a common hack that we might not be aware of that you're like would be able to speak to the audience and say, hey, try this? Like 9 times out of 10, this is one key way of making a difference to it.
Yeah. The nighttime routine's massive, but what it really comes down to is consistency. And and every parent should follow that, whether your kid's a teenager or whether they're a baby. Like, if you're consistent and you do what you say and you follow through on it, whether it's a negative or a positive, if you follow through on that, your word is true. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to bedtime, it's like it's bedtime. Mum's saying it's bedtime, must be bedtime. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
consistency. And, that regular routine every night, keeping that consistent as well. So it sort of goes, consistency's like a blanket rule with parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blanket rules, just about everything, to be
Right.
honest.
When we want to have a diet change,
Yeah.
when we want to exercise, if we're consistent, we win.
That's
If
it.
we're not consistent, we fail.
Have you got a story you can share where you've like, you've met this client, they're having this trouble and situation, and you've got through to the result that they wanted and you wanted. So, what were the pain points that they were having? How was it impacting their life? And now that you've gone through the process and the package and the program, how's that changed for them?
Yeah, fantastic. So one of my clients, her journey was a long one, but we got there in the end. So yeah, her son actually used to sleep quite well before 6 months, and then teething happened, and she started this feeding through the night, and lo and behold, next minute she's feeding him like minimum 3 times a night. And she works as well, like from home. So she's just like, I'm so tired. And she's like, I don't even know what to do. She's like, I'm so tired that I don't think I can actually get through what I need to do. Like, I'm actually a zombie going into him at night, just not even realizing.
Yeah.
So he was actually teething when I first met her. So she was so determined and dedicated. And so she got results. Um, Yeah, so basically, I think it was about 1 weekend, no night feeds. She's like, right, let's do it. His teething settled, right, done. So she just went, none. And she did so well. She cuddled him, got him through it. And yeah, he was still waking up because he was teething. So she pushed through the hard yards on that one. And I think it was about 3 weeks in, she got her full night's sleep. Amazing. She was just so happy. I was so happy for her. It was brilliant. Yeah, so
And what do you think that means for her? Because I mean, I can relate because of, as a parent, not having that sleep and the problem. But that's what you're doing is actually helping parents by way of sorting out the child. But at the end of the day, you're helping parents
Yeah.
live a better life.
yeah.
How did that change for her from going from zombie and unproductive to actually, being able to function?
Yeah, right. So she was putting him to sleep, and within an hour, he was waking up again.
Right.
So she now knows that when she puts him to bed, she can have a bit of me time. So nighttime comes around, kids are in bed, happy times, it's me now. So she actually gets that time to herself, and then she gets to go to bed and sleep all night. And then, when it comes to the daytime, she's very active with him as well. So they go bike riding and do all that sort of stuff. So she has the energy to actually interact with him and enjoy his company now too, whilst also getting her work done.
Perfect.
Yeah, I know, win-win.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue into the next episode with Nat. Now that we've got a good understanding of her business, what she does, the problem she solves, and who she helps. But what we're really keen to dig into is that 90 days ago, this business did not exist. So what steps did Nat take? How did she go about it? What did she struggle with? What kind of support did she get? And I remember 30 days ago, we were talking, put a post up to the Fired Up crew in the Facebook group saying, we're 60 days in and Nat's got her first paying clients, which is awesome. So we want to talk about how she went about that. So stick around for the next episode. We'll catch you later. If you've enjoyed this episode, then subscribe on YouTube or follow our podcast on your favorite platform. We drop a new episode every week. You'll be doing us a massive favor. If you know someone that would benefit from listening to this, then share it with them. You'll be doing them a massive favor. And if you want the tips, tools, and resources to support you on this journey, then join our exclusive Facebook community and follow our socials. You'll be doing yourself a massive favor.